beautiful people. When I go to India, Pakistan, I'm amazed by the beauty in people, their faces, their skin, their eyes. You know, I don't just, I love it. I love the Indian festivals like Diwali. I went to India. I'm going back to India in 10 days.
Yeah.
I love it. But I kind of see it more as a tourist, so to speak, because, and I appreciate it more that way. Because I'm not forced to be in it.
And that's the thing, you know. I mean, I grew up in a school where I went to a school where I was predominantly the only Asian, the only brown face in the school, and people didn't even know where Pakistan was when I would tell them where I'm from. But it kind of left me with this idea of what being in an Asian community was. It used to make me feel really suffocated. The idea of being surrounded just by, because the Asians that I was exposed to were quite judgmental.
Yeah.
If you're a Muslim not wearing a hijab, then the girls that are wearing hijab are looking down on you.
Yeah.
Or if you're wearing a sleeveless shirt, then somebody else is looking down on you. So my idea of what it meant to be Muslim, to be Asian, was quite myopic, and I used to think that, okay, to fit into an Asian culture, you can't be yourself. So I kind of isolated myself as well, and surrounded myself with just non-Asian friends, because I didn't feel judged. However, as I've grown up, and I'm considering having children and what I'm going to do with my kids, I do understand that there is that beauty in the Asian culture.
There is,
that we can, mix with Western cultures and actually create something quite beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think people should be able to grow and explore the world and religions and people, because people are beautiful. Every one of us is beautiful. Doesn't matter where you come from, because in the spirit and in our hearts, we all have God inside of us. Every single one of us. You know, we all have that strength and that beauty and that potential. And I don't see. I've come to a point. I've come so far. I don't even see color anymore or religion. I mean, at my book launch, somebody said to me, "Oh, your Indian friend was really sweet," and I said, "There was Indians there?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." And I went, "Who?" "Oh, George." George is Indian, yeah. But I don't see him as an Indian. In fact, a girl turned up to my book launch who was wearing a hijab.
Okay.
And I went up to her, and I had a few drinks after the speeches and stuff. I said, "It's so nice to see someone supporting this who has a hijab on." And she said, "Don't dismiss Islam." I said, "I haven't dismissed it." I said, "But it's really nice to see people here." I've had other women write to me saying this is the first book they've read where I don't diss Islam. I don't put it down. I talk about I don't blame the religion for the things that I suffered.
It's more of how it's interpreted and implemented in families that you have issue with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think at the heart of all religion is love and forgiveness and, being good to each other. It's not, unfortunately, in our culture, it's about she shouldn't wear this, she shouldn't do that, that's wrong. What a way to live. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing. I got so tired of it and frustrated of it as a child. This is wrong, that's wrong. I prayed 5 times a day, and even that wasn't good enough.
Did you ever wish that you weren't born a girl?
No, I love being a girl. I love being a woman. I love it.
Right from the get-go, when you realized how difficult it was going to be to be Asian
know. When I was a kid, I
and
didn't
a woman?
know. No, I didn't know that. As an adult, I understood. But I would never want to be a man because I think women are phenomenal creatures. We can give birth. We can wear different clothes. We can,
I asked that because, when you are an Asian girl of a certain age, say 11, 12, 13, and you realize that you can't wear shorts, but your brother can.
I wish I was born in I had different parents. I wanted to be white.
Yeah.
I wanted to be white because being white meant I could do what I wanted. I could have friends. I could go out and play. I could do what I wanted. I don't want to be white now. I love being brown-skinned. I love my culture. I love my country. I love India. I just love everything Asian. As a youngster, being white meant being free and not being told off because you were on the stage singing at the age of 10 or because you got abused by uncle and it's your fault. Watching your parents being beaten up, there's nothing you can do about it. Being a singer, singing your heart out, and actually that's considered prostitution. And I was an innocent kid in all of this. I mean, when I have children, God willing, and my child stands on the stage and sings in front of 100 people, I'd cry because I'd be so happy. I wouldn't grab her by the arm and say, that's considered prostitution. I don't want you to do that again. That would hurt me to even think that.
Well,
of a child.
I mean, being Muslim, girls aren't encouraged to display any kind of anything, especially on stage. Dancing, singing, any of that. And you're right, it is synonymous with being a prostitute, which is really unfortunate and really sad. And I think the moral of the whole book, and just is don't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely.
And more to you than what you wear or what you don't wear. There's more to you than just...
this whole notion of respect has been, and is a man's notion. It's not a woman's notion. How many men?
Of course.
How many men are disrespected and dishonored?
Very, very far and few in between.
Why are we as women accepting this? Why are we allowing it to go on?
And the thing is, that this notion of izzat isn't changing with this generation. It's not. This is the next generation of British Asians aren't going to be dismissive of it. I think, if anything, they're holding on to it even firmer than perhaps the generation before.
But I think we are changing, because I think as a society, people like me, books like that, we're enabling ourselves to be educated. There are, you see English people becoming Muslim. To me, it's not a battle of Islam, Christianity, white, Asian. To me, it's a battle of oneself. Once you learn to accept yourself and love yourself and appreciate that you can be a wonderful human being, you can then give that out to other people, and you can accept who they are.
Yeah, I mean, I understand all of that, and I think that the reason that this book, if it hasn't already, will stir up some controversy, is because our Asian values, the whole concept of that, I think a lot of people will feel for your family and think, well, if my daughter or if my sister was doing the same thing, I would dishonor her too. And what I think the unfortunate thing about that is that if all of us, and like I said earlier, I am all for living your dreams and being who you are. If all the girls, Asian girls started doing that, I think there'd be a lot more dishonored girls than there are right now.
Well, there wouldn't be such a thing as dishonored.
Yeah, there'd probably be another word for it, though.
Yeah,
but still
I just think it would be accepted, and because more things have. Like when I was growing up, it was wrong to do anything on TV. The only person I remember seeing was Lisa Aziz, who was a news reporter. Now,
right.
I remember my mum saying it's okay if you're an actor, but don't show your body.
That's right.
So the next step,
Well, hopefully, slowly but surely, the notion of what's respectable and what's not will, a person will be judged by their character and their merits as opposed to what they're wearing. I've been talking to Sophia Hyatt about her book, Dishonored, and like we mentioned in the start of the show, a lot of Asians, especially Asian girls, have formed dual identities. There's the one that they have at home, and there's the one that comes out on a Friday night. Most of us have been lucky that we've been able to keep those two identities completely separate. However, Sophia was quite open and brazen about her experiences and wasn't quite as fortunate, and both of those personalities did merge. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Broken Silence. I'm Sonia Gardez. I'll be back next week, same time, same place.